but it creates a new group of plaintiffs who claim the president's actions have damaged them. Democratic members of the House and Senate who say they have been wrongly deprived of their constitutional right to rule on whether Mr. Trump can accept such economic benefits from foreign governments, according to Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, who led the effort with Representative John Conyers Jr. of Michigan. The founders ensured that federal office holders would not decide for themselves whether particular emoluments were likely to compromise their own independence or lead them to put personal interest over national interest, the lawsuit states. An office holder, in short, should not be the sole judge of his own integrity. Mr. Trump now faces three distinct groups of legal opponents, each alleging they have been harmed in a different way. Earlier this year, private individuals who own hotels or restaurants or book events at hotels that they say compete with Mr. Trump's joined a lawsuit filed in federal court in New York by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, or CREW, a non-profit watchdog group. On Monday, the Attorneys General of Maryland and the District of Columbia filed suit in federal court in Maryland, accusing Mr. Trump of putting hotels, resorts and convention centers owned or operated by their governments at a competitive disadvantage. Some legal experts have suggested that this suit may be the most likely to proceed because a state is considered a co-equal sovereign of the president. The president's critics are clearly hoping to find a federal judge who will agree that the plaintiffs have enough standing to let a case proceed to the fact-finding stage. It is pretty much copy and paste from one suit to another, said Andy S. Gruel, a University of Iowa law professor who has been critical of the lawsuit's merits. He said the complaint from members of Congress was the weirdest one because a court ruling that would for the first time in 230 years define what constituted an emolument would also cover them. They could be really shooting themselves in the foot, he said. Yet each new set of plaintiffs makes it harder for the Justice Department to defend the president on the grounds that his opponents have no legal standing to sue him, Mr. Trump's critics said. It puts the government in the position of saying that nobody can address this, not hotel competitors, not states, not members of Congress, said Norman Eisen, the chairman of CREW, which started the legal efforts. And you cannot get away with that in a rule of law